Welcome to MindPop English. I am Pinky, your host for today. Today, we have something truly special for you. A full 1-hour English practice session designed to help you reach C2 level and speak fluently and naturally. Yes, you heard that right. By the end of this session, you will feel more confident, more natural, and more connected to the English language. And the best part, you can follow along, no matter your current level. Before we start, I want you to take a deep breath and relax. Learning English is not about rushing. It's about consistency, focus, and enjoying the process. Today, we will take a journey together. A journey where you will listen, repeat, and practice in a way that sticks. Let's start with something that might surprise you. Did you know that most English learners never reach C2 level because they don't practice the right way? They study vocabulary, memorize grammar rules, and forget to actually use English in a natural, everyday context. In this video, we're going to fix that. We're going to practice English as if it's your first language, in the way native speakers think, speak, and express themselves. Here's how we'll do it. First, we'll warm up your ears and mind with listening exercises. Listening is the most important skill because your brain needs to hear English naturally before you can speak it naturally. Next, we'll practice speaking using simple sentences that gradually become more advanced. You'll hear me, repeat after me, and then try to say it on your own. Finally, we'll use real-life situations so you can feel ready to speak English anywhere, anytime. Let's begin with a simple, yet powerful warm-up. Listen carefully. I will say a sentence, and I want you to repeat it. Don't worry about mistakes. Just focus on the rhythm, the sounds, and the natural flow. Ready? Here we go. The weather today is perfect for a walk in the parks. Now, repeat after me slowly. Feel every word. Notice how your mouth moves. This is not just speaking. It's training your brain and your mouth to think in English. Great. Let's try another. I always enjoy learning something new every day. Repeat it with me, slowly, then naturally. Imagine you are saying this to a friend. That's the key. Speak English as if you are already living in an English-speaking world. Notice how simple sentences like these already use patterns common at C2 level. The difference between average English speakers and advanced speakers is not just vocabulary. It's fluency, rhythm, and confidence. Now let's add a little challenge. I will say a slightly longer sentence. Don't worry, you can do it. Repeat after me. Even when life gets complicated, I try to stay calm and focus on what really matters. Take your time. Speak slowly, then faster. Feel the natural pauses. Notice the linking words. Even when I try, what really matters. These are small details that make your English sound native. By now, you are already starting to activate your speaking skills. This is why the first few minutes of the video are so important. If you pay attention now, your brain will remember these patterns, and your speaking will improve more than hours of studying grammar rules. Now, let's combine listening and speaking. I will tell a short story, and you will repeat each sentence after me. This is called shadowing, and it's one of the fastest ways to reach C2 level. Listen carefully. Yesterday, I went to the market to buy fresh vegetables. I met an old friend there, and we talked about our plans for the weekend. The sun was shining, and everything felt peaceful. I realized that small moments like this make life truly beautiful. Now your turn. Repeat slowly, sentence by sentence. Make it natural. Don't just say the words. Feel them. If you do this consistently, your brain will start thinking in English. You won't have to translate from your native language anymore. That is the difference between intermediate and advanced speakers. Next, we'll focus on pronunciation. At C2 level, pronunciation is not just about individual words. It's about stress, intonation, and rhythm. Listen. I can't believe how quickly time passes when you're having fun. Notice the stress on can't believe, quickly, fun. These are the words that carry the meaning. Repeat after me, trying to match the rhythm and melody. One more. Learning English is not about perfection. It's about progress and confidence. Repeat it slowly, then naturally. Imagine saying it to encourage a friend. This helps your brain connect meaning with sounds. By now, your brain is warmed up, your ears are tuned, and your mouth is ready to speak more complex sentences. Before we move to the next section, here's a secret tip. Always imagine a real-life scenario when practicing. For example, when you repeat the sentence about the market, picture yourself there. Visualize the people, the colors, the sounds. This mental image makes learning faster and more natural. Now get ready. In the next segment, we will practice dialogues and real conversations. You will learn how to respond naturally, ask questions, and keep a conversation flowing. This is the part that separates advanced speakers from beginners. Don't skip it. Remember, this is just the beginning. 1 hour may seem long, but if you follow along, you will see incredible progress. The key is focus, repetition, and curiosity. So take a deep breath, relax your shoulders, and let's continue to the next part. Your journey to C2 English starts now. Welcome back. Now that your ears are warmed up and your mouth is ready, it's time to move into real-life conversations. This section is all about speaking naturally and confidently, even if you are a beginner. Don't worry if you feel nervous. Just follow along and repeat after me. We will start with a simple conversation between two friends meeting after a long time. Listen carefully, then repeat each sentence. Person A. Hi, it's been so long since we last met. How have you been? Person B. I know, I've been really busy, but things are going well. How about you? Person A. Pretty good. I just started a new project at work. It's challenging, but exciting. Person B. That sounds amazing. What kind of project is it? Person A. It's a research project about renewable energy. I'm learning so much every day. Now, it's your turn. Repeat each line after me. Speak slowly at first, then try to say it naturally as if you are person A or B. Imagine the emotions, excitement, curiosity, friendliness. This is the key to sounding like a native speaker. Notice the phrases we use here. It's been so long. How have you been? That sounds amazing. I'm learning so much. These are expressions that advanced speakers use every day. By practicing them now, you are building a strong foundation for fluent conversations. Next, let's make it a little more challenging. We will add follow-up questions and responses to keep a conversation flowing naturally. Person A. Do you have any plans for the weekend? Person B. Yes, I'm thinking of going hiking if the weather is good. What about you? Person A. I might visit a museum. I love learning new things about history. Person B. That sounds interesting. Which museum are you going to? Person A. The National History Museum. They have a new exhibition about ancient civilizations. Repeat after me slowly, then naturally. Notice how the conversation flows. Questions, answers, comments, Follow-ups. This is exactly how native speakers keep a conversation alive. Here's a tip. When you practice, don't just say the words. Feel the intention behind each sentence. When person B says, "That sounds interesting," they are showing curiosity and engagement. Practicing this way will make your English sound real and alive. Now let's try a short exercise called role reversal. You will speak both parts of the dialogue. I will pause after each line so you can answer. This trains your brain to respond naturally without translating from your native language. Person A, have you ever traveled to another country? Pause for your response. Person B, yes, I visited Italy last year. It was amazing. Person A, wow, Italy is beautiful. Which city did you like the most? Pause for your response. Person B, I loved Rome. The history and culture were incredible. Great. Keep practicing this method. Imagine yourself in different situations, ordering at a restaurant, asking for directions, talking about hobbies. The more scenarios you practice, the faster your English will improve. Next, let's focus on linking words and natural expressions that make you sound fluent. Listen. When I was a child, I used to play outside every day. However, nowadays, I spend more time reading books and learning new skills. Repeat slowly, then naturally. Notice the linking words. However, nowadays, used to. These small connectors make your sentences flow and help you express complex ideas clearly. Another example. I enjoy traveling, not only because I can see new places, but also because I can meet new people and learn about different cultures. Repeat after me. Pay attention to rhythm and stress. Not only, but also, is a very common structure at advanced levels. By practicing it now, you are training your brain for C2 level thinking and speaking. Now, we'll combine vocabulary, speaking, and real-life thinking. I'll give you a situation, and you will respond. Ready? Situation. You meet someone at a coffee shop, and they ask, "What do you usually do on weekends?" Take a moment to answer out loud. Use complete sentences. For example, I usually go for a walk in the park, read a book, or meet friends for coffee. I try to make my weekends relaxing but productive. Good. Try another one. Situation. Someone asks, "What's your favorite book and why?" Answer aloud. My favorite book is insert book. I love it because it teaches me important life lessons and inspires me to think differently. Notice how this exercise forces you to think and speak in English without translating. This is exactly how C2 speakers operate. They think directly in English. Before we finish part 2, let's do a short mini storytelling exercise. I will give you a story, and you will repeat it, adding your own details if you can. This develops fluency, vocabulary, and creativity. Listen carefully. Last weekend, I decided to explore a new part of my city. I walked through quiet streets, visited a small cafe, and tried a dessert I had never tasted before. It was a simple adventure, but it made me feel happy and refreshed. Now repeat slowly, then naturally. Try adding one detail, maybe the color of the cafe, the taste of the dessert, or the weather. This trains your brain to expand sentences, a key skill for advanced English. By the end of this section, you should feel more confident in conversations, able to ask questions, respond naturally, and share ideas with real-life fluency. Next, in part 3, we will move to practical exercises for improving pronunciation, stress, and intonation, so your English sounds native and natural. This is where your speaking starts to feel effortless. Welcome back to MindPop English. Now that you've practiced conversations and dialogues, it's time to focus on one of the most important aspects of speaking fluent English: pronunciation, stress, and intonation. Mastering these will make your English sound natural, smooth, and confident. Let's start with pronunciation. Many learners know the words, but their pronunciation makes them hard to understand. Today, we will fix that. Repeat after me carefully, focusing on every sound. Thought. Notice the th sound. Your tongue should be between your teeth. Repeat slowly. Thought, thought, thought. Through. This one is tricky. The th is soft, and the off sounds like oo. Repeat. Through, through, through. Culture. Stress the first syllable. Cool, tour. Repeat. Culture, culture, culture. By practicing these words, your mouth learns the movements necessary for clear English. Pronunciation is not about perfection. It's about being understood and sounding natural. Next, let's focus on sentence stress. English is a stress-timed language, which means some words are emphasized more than others. Listen. I absolutely love learning new languages every day. Notice the stressed words: absolutely, love, learning, languages, day. These are the words carrying the meaning. Repeat slowly, then naturally. Stressing the right words will make you sound more fluent instantly. Another example: even though it was raining, we decided to go for a walk in the park. Here, the stressed words are even, raining, decided, walk, park. Repeat it carefully. Feel the rhythm. English has a musical quality, and stress gives your speech life. Now, let's practice intonation, which is the rise and fall of your voice. Intonation changes meaning and emotion. For example, questions often rise at the end, and statements often fall. Listen and repeat. Statement: I went to the museum yesterday. Notice the falling tone at the end. Question: did you go to the museum yesterday? Notice the rising tone at the end. Try it yourself. Speak both sentences aloud. Feel how your voice naturally rises and falls. This is crucial for sounding like a native speaker. Next, we will practice linking words and connected speech. Native speakers often connect words, making speech smoother. Listen. I want to go to the store. Connected naturally. I want to go to the store. It's going to rain today. Connected naturally. It's gonna rain today. Repeat after me. Notice how words blend together. Practicing this will make your English sound fluid, not robotic. Now, let's combine pronunciation, stress, and intonation in a short paragraph. Listen first. Yesterday, I woke up early and decided to take a long walk in the park. The air was fresh, the sun was shining, and everything felt peaceful. I met a friend along the way, and we talked about our plans for the week. Small moments like these make life truly beautiful. Now repeat sentence by sentence. Focus on clear pronunciation of tricky words like decided, peaceful, along. Stressing the important words: woke up early, long walk, fresh, shining, peaceful. Intonation: let your voice rise and fall naturally. By practicing paragraphs, you train your mouth, ears, and brain simultaneously. This is exactly how advanced speakers internalize English. Next, we will practice emphasis for expressing emotions. This is what separates advanced speakers from learners. Listen. I really can't believe how amazing this day has been. Stress really can't. Amazing. This is absolutely incredible. Stress absolutely incredible. Repeat these sentences with emotion. Don't just speak the words, feel them. Emotions make your speech alive, and it's how native speakers communicate naturally. Now, let's do a mini practice session, combining everything we've learned: pronunciation, stress, intonation, linking, and emotion. I will say a sentence, and you repeat after me, first slowly, then naturally. I've been learning English for a long time, and I finally feel confident speaking. If I had more time, I would travel around the world and meet new people. Even when things get difficult, I try to stay positive and focused. It's amazing how much progress you can make if you practice consistently every day. Repeat each sentence aloud. Focus on pronouncing every word clearly, stressing the important words, using natural intonation and emotion, linking words where appropriate. You should feel your English becoming smoother and more natural with each repetition. This is how advanced learners think and speak at C2 level. They don't just know the words, they use them naturally, with rhythm, stress, and emotion. Finally, a tip for daily practice: record yourself speaking these sentences, listen carefully, and compare your pronunciation, stress, and intonation to mine. Small adjustments every day will lead to big improvements over time. In the next part, Part 4, we will focus on vocabulary expansion and practical sentence structures. We'll practice phrases and expressions that advanced English speakers use daily. This will make your speaking richer, more natural, and closer to native level. Welcome back to MindPop English. Now that we have worked on pronunciation, stress, and intonation, it's time to focus on vocabulary and sentence structures. Advanced speakers don't just use simple words, they know how to combine words and expressions naturally. By the end of this section, you'll have practical phrases that you can use immediately in daily conversations. Let's start with common expressions for daily life. Repeat each after me, first slowly, then naturally. I'm looking forward to meeting you. Can I get your advice on something? That sounds like a great idea. I'm not sure, but I'll figure it out. Could you clarify what you mean? Notice how these expressions are short, simple, but very powerful. They make your English sound professional and natural. Repeat them several times until they feel comfortable. Next, let's practice expressions for opinions and feelings. These are crucial for sounding like a native speaker. In my opinion, this approach works best. I feel like we should try a different strategy. To be honest, I was surprised by the result. I'm convinced that practice leads to progress. It seems to me that we need more information. Repeat slowly, paying attention to the rhythm and stress. Advanced English isn't just about big words. It's about using the right phrases in the right context. Now, let's add phrases for agreement and disagreement. This is key in conversations, meetings, or casual discussions. I completely agree with you. That's an interesting point, but I see it differently. You might be right, but let's consider another perspective. I see what you mean, and I also think. Absolutely, that makes perfect sense. Repeat each line aloud. Imagine yourself in a real conversation. These phrases make your English sound natural, confident, and fluent. Next, we will practice expressions for problem solving and suggestions. These are very useful for C2 level English. Have you considered trying a different approach? One option could be to focus on the most urgent tasks first. I suggest we brainstorm ideas together before making a decision. It might help if we break this problem into smaller parts. Let's analyze the situation carefully and find the best solution. Repeat slowly, then naturally. Notice the patterns. Have you considered? One option could be, I suggest, it might help, let's. These are advanced sentence structures used daily by fluent speakers. Now, let's move to phrases for storytelling or describing experiences. This is important for expressing yourself naturally. When I was a child, I used to spend hours reading books in the garden. Last summer, I traveled to Italy and discovered amazing local food. I've recently started learning how to play the guitar, and it's challenging but fun. During the meeting, I noticed that everyone was really engaged in the discussion. One memorable moment was when I helped a stranger and felt truly happy. Repeat each sentence aloud. Try adding your own details. For example, instead of, I traveled to Italy, you can say, I traveled to Italy and visited Venice, Florence, and Rome. Expanding sentences like this trains your brain to think in English and speak naturally. Next, we will practice phrases for expressing certainty and probability. These help your English sound precise and professional. I'm certain that we can achieve our goal if we stay focused. It's likely that the weather will improve tomorrow. There's a chance that this strategy could work. I'm confident that practice makes a significant difference. It seems probable that the results will improve next month. Repeat slowly, then naturally. Notice the small differences in meaning between certain, likely, chance, confident, probable. Using these correctly is a sign of advanced English. Now, let's combine everything into a mini practice dialogue. Repeat both parts aloud. Person A. I'm thinking about starting a new hobby, but I'm not sure what to choose. Person B. Why don't you consider something creative, like painting or writing? Person A. That's a good idea. I've always wanted to improve my creative skills. Person B. Absolutely. It might help you relax and also develop new abilities. Person A. I'll give it a try this weekend and see how it goes. Notice the vocabulary and phrases we used. Consider, that's a good idea. Absolutely. Might help. Give it a try. These are practical, natural expressions for real conversations. Before we finish part 4, here's a tip for vocabulary practice. Don't just memorize words. Use them in sentences. Imagine real situations and repeat them aloud. Your goal is to think in English, not translate. This is the key to reaching C2 level. In the next part, part 5, we will focus on speaking exercises for advanced thinking, including expressing opinions, making arguments, and describing complex ideas naturally. This is where your fluency truly takes off. Now that you have expanded your vocabulary and practiced useful phrases, it's time to take your English to the next level. In this part, we will focus on advanced speaking exercises, expressing opinions, explaining ideas, and speaking with confidence like a C2 level speaker. Let's start with expressing opinions clearly. Listen carefully and repeat after me. In my opinion, learning a new language opens doors to amazing opportunities. I strongly believe that practice is more important than perfection. From my perspective, traveling teaches us more about life than reading books alone. I'm convinced that setting small, achievable goals leads to long-term success. It seems to me that consistent effort is the key to mastering any skill. Repeat each sentence slowly, then naturally. Notice how each phrase signals your opinion confidently. In my opinion, I strongly believe. From my perspective, I'm convinced, it seems to me. These expressions make your speech sound advanced and professional. Next, we will practice explaining ideas and giving reasons. This is essential for C2 level conversations. Listen. I think exercise is important because it improves both physical and mental health. Studying abroad is beneficial since it helps you understand different cultures and meet new people. Reading regularly enhances your vocabulary and also improves critical thinking skills. Learning to cook at home saves money and encourages healthier eating habits. Practicing English daily is effective because it strengthens memory and builds confidence. Repeat each sentence aloud. Notice the linking words, because, since, also. These connectors are small but powerful. They make your sentences logical and natural. Now, let's combine opinion plus reason plus example, which is a structure advanced speakers use all the time. Listen. I believe that technology has transformed education because it allows access to a wealth of information. For example, online courses make learning possible for people everywhere. In my view, reading fiction is valuable since it improves imagination. For instance, novels like Harry Potter or Pride and Prejudice encourage creative thinking. I'm convinced that traveling helps personal growth because it exposes you to different perspectives. For example, visiting another country teaches you patience and adaptability. Repeat slowly, then naturally. Try adding your own examples. This exercise trains your brain to think in English directly, which is the hallmark of C2 level fluency. Next, we'll practice agreeing and disagreeing politely. Advanced speakers know how to express disagreement without sounding rude. Listen. That's an interesting perspective, but I think there might be another way to see it. I see your point. However, I believe we should consider additional factors. You make a good argument, yet I feel that we might be overlooking something important. I understand what you mean, and I also think we could approach it differently. Repeat each line aloud. Notice how the words, but however, yet, and also make disagreement polite and natural. This is a skill that separates fluent speakers from learners. Now, let's practice describing complex situations. This helps you speak clearly about ideas, events, or problems. Listen. During the conference, the speakers discussed global environmental challenges and proposed innovative solutions to reduce carbon emissions. Over the past decade, technology has advanced rapidly, influencing how we communicate, work, and learn. Many people believe that a balanced lifestyle is essential, including exercise, proper nutrition, and mental relaxation. In my experience, teamwork is most effective when each member contributes their unique skills and ideas. Repeat slowly, then naturally. Notice how each sentence is longer, but still clear and structured. This trains you to speak fluently in real-world situations. Next, we will do a mini practice dialogue, combining opinion, reasoning, and examples. Repeat both parts aloud. Person A. Do you think learning English is important? Person B. Absolutely. I believe learning English is essential because it allows you to communicate with people worldwide. For example, it helps when traveling or working in international companies. Person A. I agree. Also, it improves cognitive skills and builds confidence in social situations. Person B. Exactly. Practicing regularly makes a big difference in mastering the language. Notice the structure, opinion, reason, example, follow-up comment. This is exactly how C2 level speakers communicate naturally. Before we finish part 5, here's a daily practice tip. Spend 5 to 10 minutes every day explaining your thoughts on simple topics in English. For example, why I like my favorite hobby, how I spent my last weekend, what makes a good friend, why healthy eating is important. Speak aloud, use phrases we practiced, and try to add examples. This trains your brain to think and speak in English automatically. In the next part, part 6, we will practice real-life situational English, including making requests, giving advice, and handling common situations naturally. This is essential for fluency and confidence in everyday conversations. Welcome back to MindPop English. Now that we've practiced advanced speaking and expressing ideas clearly, it's time to focus on real-life English. These are the phrases, responses, and strategies that make your English practical and natural in everyday situations. By practicing these, you'll feel confident speaking English in any environment. Let's start with making requests politely. Repeat each phrase aloud. Could you help me with this task, please? Would you mind giving me some advice? Can I ask you a quick question? I was wondering if you could explain this to me. Would it be possible to reschedule our meeting? Notice how polite requests often include words like could, would, mind, I was wondering, possible. Repeat each one slowly, then naturally. These small words make your English sound polite, professional, and fluent. Next, let's practice giving advice or suggestions. Listen and repeat. I suggest you take a short break to clear your mind. It might be a good idea to review your notes before the meeting. If I were you, I would focus on practicing every day. Have you considered asking for feedback from a colleague? Try to approach the situation calmly and thoughtfully. Repeat each sentence aloud. Notice the structure. I suggest, it might be a good idea. If I were you, have you considered, try to. These are advanced structures used by native speakers. Now, let's move to handling common social situations. This is essential for sounding natural. Repeat these scenarios. Scenario 1, meeting someone new. Person A, hi, I don't think we've met before. I'm Alex. Person B, nice to meet you, Alex. I'm your name. How do you know everyone here? Scenario 2, asking for directions. Person A, excuse me, could you tell me how to get to the train station? Person B, sure, go straight for 2 blocks, then turn left. It's right next to the library. Scenario 3, ordering at a restaurant. Person A, hi, I'd like to order the grilled chicken salad, please. Person B, of course, would you like anything to drink? Repeat each line aloud. Imagine yourself in the situation. This visualization helps your brain connect English words with real-life actions. Next, let's practice expressing preferences and making choices. Repeat aloud. I prefer working in the morning because I feel more productive. I'd rather stay home tonight and read a book. My favorite type of music is jazz because it's relaxing. I enjoy trying new foods when I travel to different countries. I like learning English through listening and speaking exercises. Notice the patterns. I prefer, I'd rather, my favorite, I enjoy, I like. These expressions are simple but powerful for everyday communication. Now, we will practice handling problems politely. This is a skill that separates advanced speakers from beginners. Repeat aloud. I'm sorry, but there seems to be an issue with my order. Could you help me solve this problem, please? I understand. Thank you for your assistance. Would it be possible to find an alternative solution? I really appreciate your help in resolving this. Notice how these sentences combine politeness and clarity. Using polite language naturally will make you sound confident and professional. Next, let's do a mini dialogue combining requests, advice, and problem solving. Repeat both parts aloud. Person A. Hi, I'm having trouble understanding this report. Could you help me? Person B. Of course. Have you looked at the summary section first? Person A. Yes, I did, but I'm still confused about the statistics. Person B. No problem. Let's go through it together step by step. Person A. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your help. Notice the vocabulary and phrases we used. Could you help? Of course. Have you looked? No problem. I really appreciate. These are practical, natural phrases you can use every day. Finally, let's practice speaking aloud about your day or plans. This is an essential fluency exercise. Try saying, today, I woke up early and went for a short walk. Then I prepared breakfast and practiced English for an hour. In the afternoon, I plan to meet a friend and maybe visit a bookstore. I always try to use my day productively and enjoy small moments. Repeat slowly, then naturally. Notice how you combine past actions, future plans, and opinions. This trains your brain to speak fluidly in English. Before we finish part 6, here's a daily practice tip. Choose 3 to 5 real-life situations every day and practice speaking aloud. Examples: asking for help at work or school, ordering food at a restaurant, giving your opinion during a conversation, making polite requests or suggestions. Speaking about real-life situations regularly will dramatically improve your fluency, confidence, and natural expression. In the next part, Part 7, we will focus on listening exercises and shadowing practice, which are crucial for internalizing C2 level English patterns and understanding native speakers effortlessly. Now that you practice speaking and handling real-life situations, it's time to focus on listening, one of the most important skills for reaching C2 level. Advanced English learners don't just speak well, they understand native speakers effortlessly, even in fast conversations. Today, we will practice active listening and shadowing, which will dramatically improve your comprehension and fluency. Let's start with a listening warm-up. I will say a sentence slowly, and I want you to listen carefully. Then, repeat it exactly as you hear it. Learning a language is not just about memorizing words. It's about understanding how to use them in real conversations. Now, repeat after me. Pay attention to pronunciation, stress, and rhythm. Listening carefully trains your brain to recognize English sounds naturally. Next, we'll try slightly faster sentences. Repeat after me, focusing on clarity and rhythm. Even if you make mistakes, the most important thing is to keep practicing every day. When you listen to native speakers regularly, your brain starts to think in English without translating. By paying attention to the intonation and stress patterns, you can sound more natural instantly. Repeat slowly at first, then naturally. Notice how listening carefully helps you internalize the sounds and patterns of English. Now, we will move to shadowing practice. Shadowing means you listen to a sentence or short paragraph and repeat it immediately, almost at the same time as the speaker. This trains your brain, mouth, and ears together and it's one of the fastest ways to reach C2 fluency. Listen carefully. Yesterday, I went to the park to enjoy the fresh air. I noticed children playing happily, and the birds were singing beautifully. It was a simple moment, but it made me feel truly peaceful and grateful. Now, repeat it aloud immediately, trying to match my pace, stress, and intonation. Don't worry if it feels fast at first. The goal is to train your brain to process English naturally. Let's try another one. Traveling is one of the best ways to learn about different cultures. You can experience local traditions, taste authentic food, and meet people from diverse backgrounds. These experiences teach lessons that you cannot find in any book. Repeat immediately after me. Pay attention to linking words, like you can, and these experiences. Shadowing helps your English flow naturally, just like a native speaker. Next, we will do question and answer shadowing. I will ask a question, and you respond aloud in full sentences. Then, repeat the whole dialogue quickly, shadowing the natural rhythm. Question: what do you usually do to improve your English? Answer: I practice listening, speaking, and shadowing every day. I also try to use new vocabulary in sentences and real conversations. Question: why do you think listening is important for fluency? Answer: listening helps me understand how native speakers express themselves naturally. It also trains my brain to think in English without translating. Repeat the entire dialogue aloud, mimicking natural speed and intonation. Shadowing questions and answers like this prepares you for real conversations where you need to respond quickly. Now, we will practice longer paragraph shadowing. Listen carefully. Last weekend, I decided to explore a new neighborhood in my city. The streets were quiet, and the buildings had a unique charm. I visited a small cafe, tried a delicious pastry, and even met a local artist who shared interesting stories about the area. Walking through the streets, I felt connected to the city in a way I had never experienced before. Now, repeat aloud, immediately after me. Try to match the rhythm, stress, and pauses naturally. Don't worry about mistakes. Shadowing trains your brain to think and speak English simultaneously. Next, let's practice listening for details. I will say a short paragraph, and then I will ask questions. Listen carefully and answer in full sentences. Paragraph: during the summer, I enjoy visiting the beach. I like swimming in the ocean, reading books under the sun, and taking long walks along the shore. Sometimes I meet friends there, and we play games or have picnics. The beach is a perfect place to relax and recharge after a busy week. Question: what activities does the speaker enjoy at the beach? Answer: the speaker enjoys swimming, reading books, taking long walks, and sometimes playing games or having picnics with friends. Question: why does the speaker like going to the beach? Answer: the speaker likes going to the beach because it's a perfect place to relax and recharge after a busy week. Repeat this process with multiple paragraphs every day. This trains your active listening, comprehension, and speaking skills simultaneously, which is essential for C2 level fluency. Before we finish part 7, here's a daily listening tip. Spend at least 15-20 minutes listening to English every day. Use podcasts, YouTube videos, or audiobooks. Shadow sentences or short paragraphs immediately after hearing them. Focus on pronunciation, stress, intonation, and linking words. Doing this consistently will make your brain process English automatically. You will understand native speakers more easily and speak more naturally. In the next part, Part 8, we will focus on advanced fluency exercises, including combining vocabulary, sentence structures, and natural conversation in longer speaking practice. This is where all the skills you've learned come together. Welcome back to MindPop English. Now that you've practiced listening, shadowing, and real-life conversations, it's time to focus on advanced fluency exercises. In this part, we will combine everything you've learned: vocabulary, pronunciation, sentence structures, stress, intonation, and listening, so you can speak English naturally, confidently, and smoothly. Let's start with a structured speaking exercise. I will give you a topic, and you will speak aloud for 1 to 2 minutes. Try to use phrases and sentence patterns we practiced earlier. Ready? Topic: describe your favorite hobby and explain why you enjoy it. Here's an example you can repeat first. My favorite hobby is reading books. I enjoy it because it helps me relax and learn new things at the same time. For example, last week, I read a novel about ancient civilizations, and I discovered many interesting facts about history. Reading also improves my vocabulary and helps me think creatively. I try to read at least 1 book every month, and I always share my favorite stories with my friends. Now, pause and repeat aloud. Try adding your own details, examples, and opinions. Remember to speak in full sentences, stress the important words, use natural intonation and linking words, add personal examples. Next, we will practice fluency drills using short prompts. I will give you a phrase or question, and you respond immediately, speaking for 20-30 seconds. This builds thinking and speaking in English simultaneously. Prompt 1. Talk about a memorable trip you took. Prompt 2. Explain your favorite type of music and why you like it. Prompt 3. Describe a challenge you faced and how you overcame it. Prompt 4. Share your opinion on why learning English is important. Respond aloud to each prompt. Don't worry about mistakes. Focus on flow, vocabulary, and natural expression. The key is to keep talking continuously, which trains your brain for advanced fluency. Now, let's combine advanced sentence structures with your speaking. Try using not only, but also, in addition to. I'm convinced that, from my perspective, it seems to me that, for example, not only does reading improve vocabulary, but it also enhances imagination. In addition to reading, I enjoy writing short stories. I'm convinced that practicing both skills helps me think creatively. From my perspective, storytelling is one of the most effective ways to learn English. It seems to me that consistent practice is the key to fluency. Repeat aloud, adding your own details. Notice how combining advanced structures with your thoughts makes your speech sound natural, fluent, and professional. Next, we will do role-play conversations. Imagine you are in a real-life scenario. Repeat both parts aloud. Scenario: talking about weekend plans with a friend. Person A: do you have any plans for the weekend? Person B: yes, I'm planning to visit a new art exhibition. What about you? Person A: I'm thinking of going hiking if the weather is good. I also want to try a new cafe in town. Person B: that sounds fun. Maybe we can meet later and share our experiences. Use natural stress, intonation, and linking words. Role-playing like this helps your brain automatically produce fluent English in real conversations. Now, let's practice advanced storytelling and opinion sharing. Repeat after me. Last year, I attended an international conference about environmental sustainability. I learned about innovative solutions to reduce carbon emissions and met people from different countries. From my perspective, collaboration across nations is essential to solve global problems. Not only did I gain valuable knowledge, but I also made connections that inspired me to take action locally. Pause and repeat aloud. Then try adding your own story with similar structure, background, experience, opinion, lesson, or result. Finally, a daily fluency tip. Speak aloud for 10-15 minutes daily on a topic of your choice. Use new vocabulary, sentence structures, and linking words. Practice role plays, storytelling, or describing experiences. Record yourself and listen to identify areas for improvement. Shadow native speakers for rhythm, intonation, and natural flow. Doing these exercises consistently will dramatically improve your fluency, confidence, and natural English expression. By the end of this 1-hour practice session, you will notice a significant improvement in your ability to speak English smoothly and naturally at an advanced level. In the next part, Part 9, we will focus on polishing your speaking and listening skills, including tips for consistency, daily practice, and strategies to reach full C2 fluency efficiently. You've practiced pronunciation, vocabulary, conversation, listening, and advanced fluency exercises. Now it's time to polish your skills and put everything together so your English sounds natural, confident, and effortless. Let's start with daily speaking routines. Consistency is key for reaching C2 level. Try these exercises every day. Daily reflection. Speak aloud for 5 to 10 minutes about your day. Use full sentences, new vocabulary, and advanced structures. For example, today I went for a morning jog and noticed how peaceful the park was. I also practiced English by reading an article about technology. From my perspective, exercising in the morning helps me stay productive throughout the day. Role play practice. Pick a situation, such as ordering food, asking for directions, or discussing a topic with a friend. Speak both parts aloud to train your brain to think in English naturally. Opinion sharing. Choose a topic and express your opinion for 1 to 2 minutes. Include reasons and examples. For instance, I believe that traveling is one of the best ways to learn about the world. Not only does it expose you to different cultures, but it also teaches patience and adaptability. For example, when I visited Japan, I learned how important it is to respect local customs and traditions. Next, let's focus on listening and shadowing refinement. Advanced learners understand native speakers even when they speak quickly. Practice these techniques. Short clips. Listen to a 1 to 2 minute audio clip or video. Repeat each sentence aloud, matching stress, intonation, and linking. Mini stories. Listen to short stories and retell them aloud in your own words. This trains comprehension and natural expression simultaneously. Question practice. After listening, answer questions aloud in full sentences to check your understanding. Now, we will practice polishing pronunciation and intonation. Repeat each technique aloud. Linking words. Connect words naturally, like going to, gonna, want to, wanna. Sentence. Stress. Stress important words to emphasize meaning. For example, I really love learning English because it opens so many opportunities. Intonation for emotion. Let your voice rise and fall naturally to express excitement, curiosity, or surprise. It's amazing how much progress you can make if you practice consistently. Next, let's practice advanced thinking and speaking. Speak about topics that require explanation, reasoning, and examples. Repeat aloud. Learning a new skill requires patience and persistence. For example, when I started learning piano, I struggled with basic techniques at first. However, by practicing daily and setting small goals, I gradually improved. From my perspective, breaking down complex skills into manageable steps is the key to success. Notice how we combine opinion, reasoning, example, and reflection. This is exactly how native and advanced speakers communicate naturally. Now, let's do a polished dialogue exercise, combining multiple skills. Scenario: discussing a new project at work or school. Person A: I've been thinking about our new project. What's your opinion on the approach we should take? Person B: I'm convinced that starting with research is the most effective method. Not only will it give us a clear understanding, but it also helps avoid mistakes later. Person A: That makes sense. In addition, we could brainstorm ideas and share them in a meeting next week. Person B: Absolutely. Collaboration at this stage is essential for success. Repeat both parts aloud. Use natural intonation, stress, linking words, and vocabulary. This is how advanced fluency sounds in real situations. Next, a daily polishing tip. Record yourself speaking for 5 or 10 minutes on any topic. Listen carefully and compare with native speakers. Focus on pronunciation, linking, stress, and intonation. Repeat difficult sentences multiple times until natural. Finally, remember consistency over intensity. 1 hour of focused English practice every day is far more effective than sporadic long sessions. Include speaking, listening, vocabulary practice, and thinking in English. This habit will gradually make your English automatic, fluent, and natural. By following all the steps in this 1-hour practice series, you will notice your speaking becomes smoother and more confident. You understand native speakers more easily. Your vocabulary and sentence structures become more advanced. You think directly in English without translating. In the final part, Part 10, we will give a complete wrap-up and final practice, combining all the techniques into a single, cohesive 10-minute exercise to solidify everything you've learned. Welcome back to MindPop English. Congratulations! You've reached the final part of our 1-hour English practice series. By now, you've practiced pronunciation, vocabulary, sentence structures, real-life situations, listening, shadowing, and advanced fluency exercises. In this final section, we will combine everything into a single, cohesive practice session to solidify your English skills and boost your confidence. Let's start with full-body speaking warm-up. Speak aloud for 1 to 2 minutes, describing your morning or the first activity you did today. For example, this morning, I woke up early and went for a short walk. I enjoyed the fresh air and listened to birds singing. After that, I had breakfast and practiced English by repeating sentences and shadowing native speakers. I feel energized and ready to start the day. Repeat your description using natural intonation, linking words, and stress on important words. Remember, speaking aloud is the fastest way to train your brain to think and speak in English automatically. Next, we will do a combined fluency exercise. Speak continuously for 2 to 3 minutes on one of these topics. Describe a memorable trip and what you learned from it. Talk about your favorite hobby and explain why it's meaningful to you. Share an opinion on a global issue, giving reasons and examples. Explain a personal challenge you overcame and what it taught you. While speaking, make sure to use full sentences, include opinion phrases. I'm convinced that, from my perspective, it seems to me that. Add examples and reasoning. Apply natural stress, intonation, and linking. After that, we will practice role-play conversations. Repeat both parts aloud. Scenario: planning a weekend activity with a friend. Person A: do you have any plans for this weekend? Person B: yes, I'm planning to visit a new art gallery. What about you? Person A: I'm thinking of hiking in the mountains if the weather is nice. I also want to try a new cafe downtown. Person B: that sounds great. Maybe we can meet afterward and share our experiences. Use emotion, stress, and natural rhythm in your responses. This final practice helps your brain combine vocabulary, grammar, and speaking skills in real-life scenarios. Next, we will do a listening and shadowing segment. Listen carefully and repeat immediately after me. Last weekend, I explored a small part of my city that I hadn't visited before. The streets were quiet, and the buildings had a unique charm. I stopped at a local cafe, tried a delicious pastry, and met an artist who shared interesting stories about the area. Walking through the streets, I felt peaceful and inspired. Repeat sentence by sentence. Then try shadowing the whole paragraph continuously. Focus on pronunciation, linking, intonation, and rhythm. Shadowing like this will make your English flow naturally. Now, let's combine opinion plus reasoning plus example into a mini speech. Speak aloud using the following structure. State your opinion. Give a reason. Provide an example. Conclude with a personal reflection. Example: I believe that practicing English daily is essential for fluency. Consistent practice helps internalize vocabulary and grammar structures. For instance, repeating sentences, role-playing, and shadowing native speakers strengthens both speaking and listening skills. From my perspective, even 30 minutes a day can make a huge difference over time. Try creating your own mini speech on a topic of your choice. This trains your brain to organize thoughts in English naturally, which is key for C2 level fluency. Finally, let's do a complete wrap-up drill. Speak aloud for 5 minutes, combining all techniques. Start with describing your day or week. Share an opinion on a topic you care about. Include reasoning and examples. Role play, a short conversation or scenario. Use linking words, stress, intonation, and natural rhythm. Include at least one storytelling element. For example, today I started the day with a morning walk in the park. I noticed children playing and people jogging, which made me feel energized. I'm convinced that exercising regularly improves both physical and mental health. For example, after my morning walk, I felt more focused and productive while practicing English. Later, I met a friend at a cafe, and we discussed our plans for the weekend. We decided to visit a new art gallery and try a unique dessert. Not only did I practice speaking English while explaining my day, but I also enjoyed sharing experiences with my friend. From my perspective, combining daily activities with English practice is the most effective way to improve fluency naturally. Repeat your own version aloud, using your own experiences. The key is to keep speaking continuously while applying everything you've learned. Daily practice tip for C2 fluency. Dedicate at least an hour a day to speaking, listening, and thinking in English. Mix warm-ups, shadowing, role plays, storytelling, and opinion sharing. Record yourself and review to improve pronunciation, stress, and intonation. Focus on consistency, not perfection. Fluency comes with practice and repetition. By completing this final practice, you have trained your brain, ears, and mouth to think, understand, and speak in English naturally. If you continue these exercises daily, you will notice faster comprehension, smoother speech, and confident communication like a native speaker. Thank you for practicing with MindPop English. Remember, consistent practice is the secret to reaching C2 level fluency. Keep speaking, listening, and thinking in English every day, and you will master it sooner than you expect.